The Galactic Council. Chamber was silent. Admirals, generals, leaders from over 50 different species sat around the long black table. Their faces were tired, their eyes filled with fear. Outside, the stars looked peaceful, but they all knew. The truth death was coming. The Krath Empire had broken through the last defense wall. Their ships were fast, strong, and full of hate. Planet after planet had fallen. The outer colonies were gone. The core systems were next. We have 3 days, said Admiral Relker of the Varnock. His voice trembled. Then they reach our homeworlds. A soft whisper moved through the room. 3 days. Where are the backup fleets? Asked a voice from the far end. Destroyed, someone replied. The 5th fleet was lost near DKAR. The 9th vanished 2 hours ago. No one spoke after. That fear sat like a shadow over them all. For thousands of years, the Galactic Alliance had ruled the stars. Their laws kept peace, their fleets kept order. But they had made one mistake, a terrible mistake. They ignored the warnings from the past. Warnings written in ancient data files, warnings that all said the same thing. Do not contact Earth. Do not wake the humans. The humans had been left alone, far at the edge of the galaxy. Long ago, they were found to be dangerous, violent, and unpredictable. So the Council decided to lock Earth's star system. No ships were sent, no messages allowed. Let them live and die on their own, they said. That decision had lasted 300 years, until now. Admiral Relker stood again. His hands were shaking. There is one option left, he said quietly. Heads turned toward him. Relker touched a glowing screen on the table. The lights dimmed, and an image appeared, Earth blue and green. Silent, unreachable. No, growled General Tuk of the Yulari. We all agreed. No humans. We also agreed to survive, Relker said. And we are not surviving. They are monsters, shouted another leader. They destroyed themselves twice in their own history. And yet they always came back, said Relker. Stronger, smarter, deadlier. Silence returned. Every species in that room knew the stories. The old files were clear. Humans were small, weak, and soft on the outside. But inside, something was different. They adapted. They evolved fast. They never surrendered. And when they fought with everything mind, machine, and madness. Relker tapped the screen again. We send a single signal, one message. We ask for help. What if they ignore us? Someone whispered. What if they answer? Someone else whispered back. The vote was called. Out of 57 leaders, 43 said yes, 12 said no, 2 refused to vote. The signal was sent, a short message in an ancient Earth. Language was beamed toward a silent blue planet. We need help. We are losing. Please respond. Hours passed. Some waited. Some prayed. Others began packing to leave the central worlds. No one really expected a reply. Humans had not answered any signal in 300 years. Many believed they no longer had space travel. Some believed they were gone. But then, at exactly 19 hours and 47 minutes after the signal left, a reply came back. It was only 3 words. We are coming. The council room was filled again. This time, there were no arguments, no votes, only questions. What do they mean? How many are coming? When will they arrive? But there was no second message, no voice, no list of demands, just those 3 words. Hours later, the long-range sensors picked up something, a single ship, fast, heavy, old human design. It came through a wormhole near the Keltari system. It did not stop for permission. It did not answer hails. The ship's name flashed across the sensors. HSS Revenant. It was not big, not shiny. It looked more like a war ghost from the past. Its black armor was scorched. Its engine left a trail, a fire. But the power coming from it made the scanners go red. The ship entered the orbit of Varnock Prime, the capital world of the Alliance. The Council sent a message. A human answered. Her name was Commander Ava Cross. She appeared on the screen. Pale skin, black eyes, a scar across her left cheek. No smile. No fear. I got your message, she said. Everyone waited. We don't have much time, Ava continued. Show me the enemy. Outside, the skies of Varnock Prime were still calm. But in deep space, near the edge of the Krath front, something had changed. The humans were awake, and they were coming out of options. We unleashed humanity now. The aliens begged for mercy. The human ship HSS Revenant hovered above the capital world like a dark shadow. Its surface was dull, scorched, and scarred by battles no one could name. It made no noise. It gave no warning, but every sensor on Varnock Prime screamed one thing: danger inside. The Galactic Council chamber. The leaders stared at the frozen image of Commander Ava Cross. She had given no smile, no greeting, just 5 simple words: show me the enemy. Admiral Relker leaned forward. Commander Cross, can we speak? Send the coordinates, Ava interrupted. Your cities are dying. Do you want a conversation, or do you want results? For a long moment, no one moved. Then Relker nodded slowly. Sending now? As the location data was transmitted, Ava's screen flickered. Her face vanished. No goodbye, no request for backup, no instructions. The Revenant turned in space. Its engines flared white hot. In seconds, it vanished into the black void. Straight for the front, lines alone. On board, the HSS Revenant, the ship's interior was dark, cold, and quiet. No bright lights, no polished steel, only weapons. Rows of them, walls of them. Some were alien in design. Others were old Earth, decapitated, rebuilt, and deadly. Ava stood alone at the command console. A small AI drone hovered beside her. Its voice was calm. Target coordinates received. Krath stronghold detected. Enemy fleet, 117 ships. Human fleet, 1. Ava didn't blink. We'll fix the numbers. The AI whirred softly. You are still 1 person, Commander. Good, Ava said. Less noise. Krath front line, 3 hours later. The Krath were a warborn race, tall, armored, and ruthless. Their ships were fast, spiked, and built to destroy. Their language had no word for mercy. Their fleet floated over the burning planet of Dros 14, watching the fires below. The last few Alliance defenders had been crushed. The Krath leader, Warlord Virak, sat in his throne ship, sipping the blood of a conquered general. He laughed as his officers reported total victory. Then, a sound echoed through space. One small blip. One small signal. One human ship, the Revenant. Identify that ship, Virak growled. His officers scanned it, confused, scared. Its ancient Earth design. One whispered, no known fleet, no support, no backup. Virak laughed again. One human, alone, they must be insane. But something about the ship made his claws twitch. Fire all cannons, he ordered. Crush it. The battle begins. Fleet moved like a pack of wolves. They surrounded the Revenant in a circle of fire. Missiles launched. Lasers screamed. The sky lit up with death, but none of the weapons hit. The Revenant twisted through space like a ghost. Its engines flared, and in a heartbeat, it was going to then reappear behind the lead destroyer. Ava spoke one word. Now, the Revenant fired a single blast. Blue lightning tore through the Krath destroyer. The ship didn't explode. It collapsed, folding into itself, crushed by gravity. The Krath screamed in panic. Another blast. Another ship gone. Then 10 more. The sky turned red. Back at the Council, the Galactic Council watched everything through a live feed. They had expected a slow, careful fight. Instead, they saw destruction, precision, terror. Is that one ship? Someone gasped. Yes, whispered Relker. One human. The aftermath, in just 3 minutes. 117 Krath ships were gone. The Revenant floated alone in space, untouched. A single message was sent from the human ship to the Krath homeworld. Run. Commander Ava didn't return to the Council. She didn't ask for medals. She didn't wait for thanks. She simply said one thing to her AI as they turned toward the next target. Let's find the next one. The galaxy had seen Earth's answer. It was not peace. It was power. Out of options, we unleashed humanity now. The aliens begged for mercy. The Krath Empire had never tasted fear. Until now, every corner of their territory buzzed with the same message. A human destroyed our entire fleet. Alone, some called it others called it impossible. But one thing was truth. The Revenant was real, and it was moving again in deep space. 2 days later, Commander Ava Cross sat alone in her command chair. Her face showed no emotion. Her eyes never blinked. In front of her, A map of space lit up with glowing red marks. Each mark was a Krath base. Each one had killed thousands. Some had wiped out entire worlds. The AI drone beside her spoke. Next target, Outpost X-91. Hostile strength, medium, civilian prisoners, 4,000. Ava didn't hesitate. Prepare weapons. Krath Outpost X-91. The outpost floated near a dying red star. It was large, covered in black metal spikes and full of soldiers. Inside the base, prisoners from 10 different species worked as slaves, digging, cleaning, and dyeing. The Krath commander there, Krask, laughed as he kicked a weak alien to the ground. Then the alarms screamed. One ship had entered orbit. One ship no Krath officer had ever seen a human. But now they all turned to the sky, and their blood ran cold. The Revenant had arrived. The sky. Burns Commander Ava didn't wait. The Revenant dropped from orbit like a silent bomb. It moved faster than any known ship. It didn't fire big cannons. It didn't give a warning. Instead, it launched something new. Small black pods. Each pod slammed into the surface and exploded with smoke, not fire. But from the smoke, machines rose, small, spider-like drones with red glowing eyes. They moved fast. They climbed walls. They slipped into vents. And they hunted Dot inside the base. Krath soldiers screamed. They fired their rifles wildly. The machines didn't stop. The spiders cut through armor like paper. They didn't speak. They didn't fear. They didn't miss in 12 minutes. The base was silent. On the ground, Commander Ava walked through the smoke. Her boots crushed the broken floor. Dead Krath lay everywhere. The air was thick with heat and dust. The prisoners stared at her, some afraid, some confused. She said only 2 words, "You're safe." Her AI drone hovered beside her, base clear. 4,012 prisoners alive. Ava nodded. "Send a message to the council." The AI beeped. Message ready. Ava spoke into the drone. Prisoners secured. Outpost gone. No survivors. We move to the next. Then she looked to the stars. Back at the council in the Galactic Council Hall, silence ruled once again. The broadcast from the Revenant played on every screen. Aliens from 100 worlds watched the footage of Ava walking through a destroyed Krath base. There were no cheers, no music, only quiet and a rising fear. Admiral Relker stood and spoke. "She is doing what none of us could." General Tuke grunted. "She is not saving lives. She is teaching fear." Relker looked him in the eyes. "Sometimes fear is the only language the enemy understands." Krath, High Command panic, that was the only word to describe the mood in the Krath. War Council, Warlord Virak, smashed his claw through a screen. "You said humans were weak." His advisors trembled. "She's only one warlord, but she fights like 100. "Then send 1,000, he roared. "Crush her, burn her, tear her apart." But no one moved, because deep down, even the Krath had begun to ask the same question. What if she can't be stopped? The message, the Revenant's signal, echoed across space. Again, simple, cold, human. "We are coming." Out of options, we unleashed humanity now. The aliens begged for mercy. They had weapons. They had fleets. They had numbers. But now, for the first time in their proud history, the Krath were afraid. Krath Warzone Sector 12 Captain Tranok sat inside his armored warship, watching a screen shake with red warnings. Ships were vanishing one by one without distress calls. Entire bases were silent. No survivors, no wreckage, just gone. His claws tapped nervously. Scanned the system again. He barked. "Still nothing, Captain?" his officer replied. "But we picked up one signal for 3.4 seconds. "What was it?" The officer turned pale. "Human." That word made everyone freeze. Tranok stood. "We must warn High Command. The human is close." Before anyone could move, boom, a flash of light outside the ship. A black shadow slid past their windows. And then silence. Their fleet was next. Across the galaxy, news spread faster than light. No matter the species, no matter the planet, everyone had heard the name now, Ava Cross. Her actions were not secrets anymore. Footage of destroyed Krath outposts. Prisoners saved. Enemies left in pieces. Her face cold and silent. In secret, underground markets, in war zone briefings, and even in street art. Some called her a hero. Others called her a ghost. but everyone agreed on one thing: where she goes. Krath Galactic Council, emergency session. The Krath are retreating, Admiral Relker said. Entire fleets are turning away. They don't want to fight anymore. General Tuk, once the strongest voice against humans, now stayed silent. Relka continued, "We are winning, because she fights like no one else." "But at what cost?" said Councillor Velra. "She shows no mercy." "She was never sent to show mercy," Relka replied. "She was sent because we ran out of hope." A message arrived mid-meeting. The room went quiet. It was from the Krath. Homeworld, the message. A short video played. Krath warlord Virak sat on his throne. His armor was dented. His voice was not as strong as before. "We do not fear the Alliance," he growled. "We do not fear war, but this human. She brings something else, something worse than war." He leaned forward. "If she continues, we will begin surrender talks." The council was stunned. The Krath had never surrendered in their history, and now a single human was forcing them to the edge. Aboard the Revenant commander, Ava sat alone. The AI hovered beside her. "Enemy fleets are retreating in 6 sectors. One enemy colony has offered peace." Ava didn't smile. "They fear me, not peace." The AI blinked. "You have changed the war, Commander." "No," Ava replied. "I've reminded them who they're fighting." She looked through the screen at the next target, a large Krath mining station known for using slaves. "Set course. Let's finish it." On a distant Monocrath child stared at the stars. His mother pulled him close and whispered, "Sleep now, little one. The human doesn't come for us, but the stars are shaking," he said softly, like they're afraid. His mother didn't answer, because deep inside she knew. Even the stars were learning to fear Ava Cross. Out of options, we unleashed humanity now. The aliens begged for mercy. The war was changing. The Krath were retreating. Surrender talks had begun, but deep inside the Alliance, a new fear was rising. Not of the Krath, not of defeat, but of Commander Ava Crosand, the human way of war. Galactic Alliance Training Center. Planet Velrus of young alien soldiers stood on the field. Nervous, unsure, they had fought using traditional methods, formations, warnings, surrender terms, but those rules had failed them. Their enemies had slaughtered them without mercy. Now, they were about to be trained by a human. Commander Ava Cross stepped onto the field. She didn't shout. She didn't greet them. She simply said, "If you hesitate, you die." Then she tossed a training drone into the air. It transformed mid-flight, firing real stun rounds. Chaos exploded. A new kind of training for 10 days. Ava pushed them harder than anything they had known. No breaks, no comfort, no safety. "Your enemy doesn't care if you're tired," she said. "Your enemy doesn't wait for you to get stronger, so we don't wait either." Some soldiers broke, some walked away. But the ones who stayed, changed. They learned how to fight like humans. Fast, sharp, without fear. They used terrain, shadows, distraction. Pain. Ava didn't just teach them to shoot. She taught them how to survive when everything else failed. And for the first time in the war, alien soldiers began winning small battles using human tactics. Inside the council, Chambers Admiral Relker watched the training footage. He was impressed but also uneasy. "She's turning them into something else," said Councillor Velra. "Something deadly." General Tuk added, "Something effective," Relker replied. The room was divided. Half of the council supported Ava's methods. The other half feared they were creating monsters in their own army. "She doesn't follow our rules," Velra warned. Relker nodded. "No, because our rules lost us the war. She's winning it." Back, the enemy Reactgrath commanders began adapting. They tried new defenses, stronger shields, faster response teams. But Ava was always one step ahead. She knew fear. She knew pressure. She knew how to break a mind before breaking a body. Her raids became faster, her traps deadlier. Krath soldiers started deserting before battles even began. The conversation one night, after a long battle, Ava sat alone on the Revenant's bridge. Her AI spoke quietly. "Do you ever feel guilt, Commander?" Ava looked. At the stars? No, not even for what we're turning them into. Ava didn't answer at first. Then she said, "I don't teach monsters. I teach survivors. If they want peace, they better be ready to protect it. The AI buzzed softly, and if peace never comes, Ava stood and walked away, then whispered, "Then we make sure they remember who we are." The human wit wasn't about numbers, it wasn't about honor. It was about victory. Fast, final, fearless. The enemy was learning, the galaxy was watching, and Commander Ava Cross had just begun. Out of options, we unleashed humanity. Now the aliens begged for mercy. The war was turning, not because of diplomacy, not because of peace talks, but because of a feeling spreading through the stars. Fear, Krath Colony, Drax 7. It was a stronghold, city-tall towers, thick walls, and armed guards on every level. They had not seen battle. They had not lost a single soldier. They believed they were safe, until one morning, something strange happened. All power shut down for exactly 3 minutes. When it came back, there were no explosions, no dead bodies, no smoke, just a single message on every screen in the city. A video, the video no words, just silence. It showed a destroyed Krath, station walls melted, bodies frozen in time, and flames still burning. In the dark and in the middle of the wreckage, Commander Ava Cross, walking alone through the ruins. She held no weapon. She looked at no one. She didn't even speak, but the way she moved, calm, cold, and without fear. It was enough. The video ended with 3 words in red text. "We are coming." Drax 7 response: no. Enemy fired a shot. No soldiers were deployed instead. The entire colony surrendered. Over 40,000 Krath warriors dropped their weapons. Ships were grounded. The city gate was opened before the Revenant ever arrived. It was the first time in Krath history that a full military base surrendered without a fight. The power of fear had done what fleets could not. Galactic Council meeting Admiral Relker showed the video to the Council. "Do you see?" he said. She didn't fire a single weapon. She just let them see her. The room was tense. "She's becoming more than a soldier," Counselor Velra whispered. "She's becoming a legend." "A warning," said General Took, "to them, and maybe to us." Relker didn't disagree. "But we needed a weapon. They feared, and now we have it." The Krath High Command Warlord Virak watched the same video. His claws trembled. "What is she?" he asked his war chiefs. No one answered, because no one knew. She didn't shout. She didn't rage. She just destroyed. And now the galaxy was watching her in silence. Inside, the Revenant Commander Ava sat alone, reviewing footage of the surrender. The AI floated nearby. "Your video worked, Commander. Total submission. No casualties." Ava nodded. "They needed a message," she said. "You said nothing in the video," the AI replied. "I didn't have to." She stood and looked into the dark beyond the stars. "Let fear speak for me." Across the galaxy, more colonies surrendered without contact. Some ran before the Revenant reached them. Some left messages behind. "Please, no human." Ava's silence had become a weapon, a quiet threat, a shadow in every system, and the Krath had no answer for it. Out of options, we unleashed humanity now. The aliens begged for mercy. The Krath had ruled through strength. They had crushed empires, burned cities, broken warriors, but now they were the ones breaking. Krath Homeworld War Council. Virak looked like a shadow of his former self. His armor was scratched. His voice had lost its roar. His war chiefs stood in silence. Reports came from across their systems, bases destroyed, fleets gone, soldiers refusing to fight. And worst of all, they were losing to one human. "We cannot fight her," whispered General Drac. Virak growled. "We are Krath. We do not beg. Then we die," said another. "She has already taken our outer colonies. If we don't surrender now, she will reach this planet next." Silence. Finally, Virak slammed his claw on the table. "Send a message to the Galactic Council. We want peace." Galactic Council, emergency transmission. Admiral Relker stood in the center of the room. "The Krath have asked for a ceasefire," he said, "for the first time in their history." Counselor Velra looked shocked. "They're afraid of her." General Took nodded slowly. "They should be." A vote was held. The council agreed to meet the Krath for surrender talks, but when the message was sent to the Revenant, Ava Cross gave no answer. Instead, she set course. For the Krath homeworld aboard the Revenant, The AI blinked red. Commander, the enemy has offered peace. Ava stared at the map. One final red dot remained. Krathanur, the enemy capital. Too late, she said coldly. They didn't offer peace when they were burning our colonies. They are surrendering now, the AI replied. Come for surrender, Ava whispered. I came for an ending. Arrival at Krathanorth skies over the Krath capital turned dark. Not from nightfall, from the shadow of the Revenant, alarms echoed. Defense systems powered on, but no weapons fired. They were too afraid. A message came through. From Viorak himself, he stood before the camera, arms out, weapons dropped. We surrender, he said. Please, no more death. The final decision, Eva, appeared on the screen, her eyes cold, voice calm. You invaded, you destroyed, you enslaved. Viorak said nothing. Ava took a slow breath. Now you will remember. She turned off the transmission, then sent one final command to the AI fire. Only once. The Strike the Revenant launched a single blast, precise and controlled. It didn't hit the cities. It hit the War Council building, just enough to leave a mark, just enough to say we could have ended everything. And then the Revenant turned. Away the galaxy holds its breath. Everyone watched. Everyone waited. Would the human destroy the capital? Would she erase an entire species? But she didn't. She left them broken, defeated, afraid to ever raise a weapon again. A new kind of message had been sent. Humanity does not forget. Back on the Revenant, the AI broke the silence. Why did you spare them? Ava stared into the stars. Because death is quick. She paused. And fear lasts forever. Out of options, we unleashed humanity now. The aliens begged for mercy. The war was over. The Krath had surrendered. Their ships were silent. Their armies scattered. Their leaders, afraid to speak Ava Cross's name. But now, a bigger question remained. What happens next? Galactic Council. 2 weeks later, the council hall was full, but no one spoke loudly. Screens showed images of burned Krath bases, and of Commander Ava Crosscom, powerful and alone. Admiral Relker stood slowly. We won the war, because of her, murmurs spread. She didn't follow orders, said Counselor Velra. She destroyed worlds, scared entire species, and left a mark that may never heal. Relker nodded. Yes, she did all of that, but she saved us. The Revenant had not returned to Alliance space. It had not sent messages. It had not answered hails. It had simply vanished. Scouts searched systems. Drones scanned hyperspace. Nothing. Ava Cross had walked out of the war and disappeared into the stars. Rumors begin. Some say she returned to Earth. Some say she built a station in the void. Others believe she's watching, waiting for the next threat. No one knows for sure, but across the galaxy, her name became legend, and so did the warning. Do not wake Earth. Do not summon the humans. Unless you're ready to change everything. The Krath aftermath warlord Viorak now sat behind closed gates. No armies, no speeches, no war, just silence. Krath children were taught a new lesson, not about power, not about conquest, about one human who had shattered them without mercy. 1 year later, unknown Sector A pirate fleet attacked a small colony. Weak shields, no weapons. Then a signal was detected. No words, no voice, just one symbol. Pirates fled before a single shot was fired. A message left behind. A small, black box was found near the colony's defense post. Inside was a short message, just for words. Still watching, Ava Cross. Final council meeting, Admiral. Relker closed the report. She is out there. General Tuke nodded. And if another threat comes, Velra interrupted quietly, will we call her again? No one answered, but deep in their hearts, they all knew they wouldn't need to. New allies appeared, and across every world, one truth remained. Humanity had been kept away for a reason, and now that they had seen what one human could do, no one would ever forget.